I think we can all agree the last few years have not been especially great for the concept of pre-ordering. Pre-ordering games has been flawed. There have been developers that have produced games and publishers that have distributed games that haven't met expectations. And I think it's time to make a resolution for 2019, and that is to stop. For us to just not pre-order video games. To just not. And I think to be more reasonable about it, I would say the resolution should be to not pre-order video games unless publishers or developers have a consistently good, maybe even a scotch-free, like a flawless pre-order record. I think it's time to stop people getting screwed over by promises and marketing hype. And basically, I'm gonna go to the main culprit of today, which is Fallout 76. I just heard about the Fallout Cola, right? Or the Fallout Rum, which was from Yongye, and it was basically this rum which was in a plastic bottle with like a glass bottle inside of the plastic, so it looked like a rocket, but it was like a fake bottle. And then we've got Bethesda wielding Fallout Banhammer for players using mods to improve graphics. You know, you've got banning Fallout cheaters until they do homework. I don't want this, and I don't want this. Stop. Really? In order to fight being unbanned, you have to write an essay on why cheating... Why is the spelling complete garbage? Write an essay on why cheating is bad. It's time to stop. This just reeks of arrogance. It reeks of arrogance. And the only reason that people are arrogant in these positions is because people keep pre-ordering games. It's time to stop. As H3H3 Productions would say, it's time to stop pre-ordering video games. It's very simple. All you need to do, if you want to buy a game, is wait until it's released. Look at as many reviews as you want to before you make your decision, and then buy them. Because we have got the internet with billions and trillions of different individual web pages. Probably more than that. I haven't really thought about how big the internet is before, but I would suggest that for any title that's going to be released in 2019, there will be people who can help you with figuring out whether a game is good or not. Whether you don't really trust IGN with their reviews. You know, if we got a 5 out of 10 for IGN Entertainment, why is the internet misbehaving? I'm trying to upload a video right now, and someone's probably watching Netflix in the other room, which is just fantastic for the video I am trying to upload. I love it. I love it. I love it when I don't have internet. Anyways. Oh my goodness, stop. What is this? Stop. Just stop. Stop with this as well, actually. Like, actually stop with auto-playing videos. I've come to read an article, I've not come to watch a video. It's just a mess. I look at this after more than 50 hours plundering the irradiated wasteland. The greatest mystery still lingering is who this mutated take on Fallout is intended for. This shouldn't be a 5. This is incredibly generous. If you go to Fallout 76 Metacritic, and the user score is 2.6, it's just garbage. It's just complete garbage. It's the #1 most discussed PC game of 2018. Because of course it is. Fallout 76 has been a complete shit show from the beginning. Now, when you make a game or a product and you run a business, generally speaking, you want to make a product that works, that lives up to the expectations of the consumer and that will keep people happy so that they want to buy more products. The fact that they have shipped something is broken. And I mean, you can see plenty of different reviews of this game, and they talk about how broken it is, whether it's Angry Joe or Jim Sterling or Yongye, or the business practices around the duffel bag that they were supposed to ship, or the Nuka-Cola, or the fact that they let like details slip of clients, and that they were really stingy about refunds, to the point where people were like, where a guy tore up a GameStop store over in the States. It's like, this is a company that's gone too far, and we're seeing sort of similar behavior in 2017 from Warner Brothers Entertainment as well as EA, and we're seeing companies like EA fight like political, like legal institutions because they want to be able to keep gambling inside their games. And recently as well, like, what was it, Atlas, right? Atlas? Yeah, launch disasters, a joke and embarrassment MMOs. Yeah, Atlas, a game that was made by the people who made Ark, which is a game I vehemently, it disgusts me with how just terrible it is. They released this, which was initially supposed to be a DLC of Ark, but then they decided, oh wait, never mind. We're just gonna have it as its own title. They delay the launch by 2 weeks. And then even better, when it launches, it's just a complete piece of crap. It's just a complete shit show. So we need to, in order for developers to stop being this arrogant, we need to actually punish them. We need to punish these developers, well, not more so the publishers. We need to develop the publishers who create the hype and try and incentivize people into these early purchases. Because the early purchases are what matters. The early purchases are what matters, and the day one purchases or the week purchases are what matter to the shareholders of these massive corporations, as well as the publishers especially. And money is massively important at this point in time. You know, if you've seen anything about like what has happened with Blizzard and Activision at the moment, like Blizzard, you know, Blizzard is layoffs despite surpassing financial targets. You know, Blizzard is cutting costs. No longer offer employees a Blizzard holiday plan. So if you look at this, Activision has big layoffs. Then they get involved with Blizzard, and now Blizzard are cutting things because they want to save money. Where's the money going? The reason that Activision Blizzard is having issues is because it has games like Destiny 2, which are complete shit shows. Destiny 2 is it's just awful when it launched, the issues. But the trouble is, there's been so many issues with newly launched AAA games that I forget which ones relate to which, because it's all just a mess in my mind of how just disgusting the industry is at the moment. I'm not saying that every single organization or publisher or developer that produces a game and releases it and you buy a pre-order. I'm not saying that you're going to automatically get screwed over if you pre-order a game, but what I am saying is, if you pre-order a game, they've got your money, and you got to deal with the consequences of what you've gambled on, because you're gambling. When you pre-order, you're gambling on it being good. You have no certainty whatsoever. You can't see people playing the game before you buy it, like in non-biased environments. You don't even see early copies because people aren't allowed to review it. There's like embargoes until the day of release in certain situations for games. You know, it's just, and you see the same thing happen with Nvidia and like graphics cards and stuff like that. You know, they want to leave the reviewers as less time so that there's less room for people to wiggle around, so there's a higher chance of a pre-order. And this pre-order culture is actually, it's just designed to screw consumers. It's not there to benefit people. And then what happens is that these businesses, right, they screw their customers over repeatedly, and then they wonder why they're losing money. And so then what they do is they go to the developers of the games and they punish them. And then eventually the studio is just too expensive, and they can't cut costs further. Sorry, I'm angry and I'm struggling to talk because this makes me angry. And then there you go. Basically, you don't have a studio anymore because they've killed the studio because it was too expensive and wasn't making them enough money. Like, I played Destiny 2 recently for a video, and Destiny 2 is the most lifeless piece of shit I have played in a very long time. And you know what? There is a game I pre-ordered called Pokemon. The Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I pre-ordered that. And my partner bought the Pokeball, which she's used a total of 2 times. And it cost her $60 New Zealand, and the game cost me $85 New Zealand. And I'm bored of it. I'm bored of it. There's nothing new about it. There's nothing interesting or innovative about it. It's just the same bullshit. And I'm part of the problem for pre-ordering that, because that game wasn't actually that great. And if I'd taken the time to look at people playing it, maybe I would have known better. So I'm making a resolution to not pre-order video games in 2019. I think if you want to benefit the industry, you need to have some self-control. You need to not gamble. And I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you can afford to gamble. Nobody cares if you can afford to spend money, apart from the publishers. And these are the same publishers where if you're consistently pre-ordering, you've probably gotten screwed over in the past. And if you're happy if you enjoy being screwed and you're enabling the culture to continue, I think that you're part of the problem. And you're welcome to take that criticism however way you like. I think it's reasonably grounded. I think that if people continue to normalize what's happening with these publishers, where they act like this, they just adopt studios and then they exploit them and then they kill them, like what happened with EA and the various studios that it's worked with. I think it's disgusting. There are games like that I think about, like Cuphead and A Hat in Time, you know, and Undertale, and even smaller games like Slime Rancher where they offer free DLC and stuff like that, you know. And I think fantastic indie games that just that seems like they just want to make a great game. And then, oh my goodness, they made a great game, they made a whole shit ton of money, and people are actually invested in what they're going to do next because they're a good company. But you're going to see more of this kind of stuff. You see that red graph there? It's a downtrend in the market, because you have these big players that are consistently going and screwing over the smaller people so that they can continue to have the profit margins that their investors want. And I don't think that business is bad for gaming. I think that without investment and expenditure, and I think that without a market, we wouldn't have a lot of the amazing games that we have today. We wouldn't have the consoles that we have today. And I'm acutely aware of the fact that there needs to be a bit of both. There needs to be a little bit of business expertise involved in making games. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a lot of the bigger MMOs that don't screw people over as much, like League, where it's a free-to-play game. They have microtransactions. They have a lot of users. They don't put up barriers to perform. They don't put up performance barriers. They don't have XP boosts or anything like that. You just play the game and you enjoy it. Yes, League gives you a limited roster of people and you have to pay for them, but it's by no means. It's actually more interesting, I think, to just take the random set of characters and get good at them. You're not paying for the game first. You're not paying for the game up front. It's like a mobile game that is free, and then if you want to have more levels, maybe you pay for those extra levels on top if you feel like it. But we need to stop. This needs to stop, okay? So I'm stopping pre-ordering. I'm not doing it anymore. And if you are not willing to commit to that because there are smaller developers that make consistently good games that you want to pre-order, fine. Let's pre-order from the ones that have a good, clean slate. Let's pre-order only from the publishers and developers that have done nothing to screw over their currents. And I do not mean a year of not screwing over their customers. I mean never. Because it's highly probable that like companies like EA, especially after what happened with Battlefield 2 and stuff, they had to behave well so that people would calm down, and then they started pushing the button again to see what else they can get away with. Like at the moment, Bethesda with Fallout 76 are just waiting for people to calm down so that they can get you don't even have to be angry about it. You can just be aggressively apathetic if you want to. But the trick is, and this is the nuanced part which some people on the internet struggle with, you can feel however you want to feel, and that's cool. But what you do is the only fucking thing that matters to these big companies. So if you feel, you can feel whatever the fuck way you want. But if you support these people, like if you want to support Fallout, you need to cut the, you need to basically give them a reason to stop this. You need to not give them any more money. You need to. I mean, they released like $30 or $40 USD Christmas stuff on the sale. Come on, people, we need to stop pre-ordering from companies that do not deserve our trust. And I understand that Fallout 76 was a pretty abysmal, like, it's been the first time, as I understand, in a while that Blizzard have done this. I mean, not Blizzard, I mean Bethesda. I know Bethesda have a pretty reasonable track record, so we just don't do it anymore. We just don't pre-order from them anymore. They fucked it up. They lost their chance. And they don't get it again. And maybe, if I'm more reasonable, give them 5 years. Give them 5 years. Or at least skip a generation of games. If you forgive them and just let the thing rotate, you need to stress out these companies to the point where, and I as a business owner, I know what it's like, because when I wasn't doing well in my business, I didn't get many customers, and I understand that. It made me a better business owner when I had that feedback, because I was like, right, I need to do better, and then I did better, and then I got more clients. It's better for people to just not spend money. If you spend money, you've lost your leverage. If you don't spend money, you have leverage, because the supply and demand, you find equilibrium there, and they'll do what they can to get your attention, and you just hold on until it's exactly what you want. And then once they've released it and they're shitting their pants, if they've released a genuinely good game, look, it's a fucking flash sale, and everyone goes in, buys it up, and they're like, oh, I guess we did good. And then you teach them like a dog that is pissing on the carpet. You say, look, dog, don't do that anymore. You don't piss on the carpet. When you piss outside, you get a reward. You have to treat these publishers like dogs, because they are dogs. The way they're treating people, they're treating everyone like bitches, and I'm just fucking sick of it. So it needs to stop, please. Join me in making a resolution to not pre-order video games in 2019. Thank you, and have a happy new year.